Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the G.I. Joe Classified Tele-Viper and the Cobra Flight Pod, aka the Trubble Bubble. Now, take a look at the front, we can see multiple images of multiple Trubble Bubbles floating over what I'm assuming is Viper Island, along with a great image of the Tele-Viper on the right. Turning the box around, we can see what everything that comes in this set being the Tele-Viper and the Trubble Bubble itself. So with the box out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this thing open and let them breathe.
Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Tele-Viper here first. I love this character, I always loved that OG toy, and it's really cool that we're finally getting him in Classified, and damn, I think Hasbro did a killer job. He looks so sick. First of all, combinations of blues and purples look so badass. I love purple, as you can see with my little lightsaber pointer here. For those of you guys who have asked, it is a lightsaber chopstick that I use as a pointer, and I got the Count Dooku ones. I also have other characters, but this is the one I tend to use the most. So anyways, that solves that mystery for a lot of you guys. But anyways, I think this guy looks so good. I love how they gave him the signature curl in the mouth. I think that looks so rad. The helmet, with all this stuff going on around it, just looks so cool. Love the design. You got that really nice Cobra Tampo right there on the shoulder pad. Looks super clean. And then you got things like the texturing, and this is one thing I always like when it comes to what Hasbro's doing with the Classified line. Lots of textures here, so going through over the shoulders, you got all these folds and crinkles and things in like the suit and the vest, even in the shoulders here. I just think it looks so good, down to the pants. Look at all that texturing, it just looks so badass. Again, down to the purple of the boots there, even with the black straps painted there, that looks really good too. Take a look at him from the back. Oh man, I'm so freaking happy with this. You do get a tiny little watch on the one wrist right there that I think looks really good. And then you have a really cool readout on this side. For a second, I thought it was like holographic, you know what I mean? When I first opened it, I was like, oh, it looks like a holographic little tampo on there. I think it'll be pretty cool. But no, it's just like a little decal on there that still looks really cool, so I do love that. And again, just throughout the whole suit, just looks so awesome, man. I have always just loved the Tele-Viper design, even from the original toy with his big old head. I think that thing was so funny, but still a very cool character. So with the Tele-Viper here, we do get some pretty cool accessories. Starting off, we do get interchangeable heads, and I love this, especially if you want to army build a character, which is always fun for something like this, like a standard Tele-Viper. So you got the more standard head sculpt. The different skin tones are really cool, again, for army building. But for me personally, that fully masked, fully helmeted one is definitely the one I'm going to go with. I don't know what it is, just, I don't know, maybe some reviewer like this, where when it comes to specifically G.I. Joe, and I mean other figure lines too and things like that, I always preferred masked or helmeted characters. I didn't really need characters with too many faces. I always liked them kind of just, I don't know, unknown, I guess you want to say, nameless type characters. So something like this, get that popped on there real good. Now that we have like this more helmeted, visored look, I think just looks so good, by the way. I mean, I love how this turned out. Get a nice close-up of the mouthpiece, and those goggles look really good again. So I do love how that looks. I don't know, I've just always been into something more like this rather than having something more with a face. So that's just me. But anyways, we also do get this really cool backpack that you can plug in through the vest right there. So I'm going to import that on. That's really cool. And you do have to connect the hose and gun. And the backpack looks really cool too. It does have some more purple on the back like that, some buttons and things like that. Really nice and tight. Then you can take the gun and put it in the hand here. It is pretty gummy, so it'll get in there kind of nicely. One thing I'm going to show you guys that it's kind of annoying. When you hold it straight out, it's kind of like facing down. That's because there's no up and down hinge on the wrist. It's more in and out, and I'm pretty sure that's more for like piloting the Trubble Bubble. So you kind of have to like maybe bend the arm like that to get it more straight out, and you can get some crossbody poses and things like that if you want to do something like that. That works pretty good. But note that there is a peg hole inside the barrel right there. And honestly, I've never, I mean, what does this guy shoot? Does he shoot actual bubbles? I don't I really don't know. Oh my god, just feel free to make fun of me. I really don't know what that is, but it still looks really cool, and the hose works really nice. You can take this off right here, and then what I like to do, you put the arm down, and then I like to get the hose. This is kind of tricky, and it came off, so you can actually peg it right there on the side around, and then wrap this hose around the front like that. And that's how you could store it on the back like that, with the hose kind of wrapping it around the front. I noticed that's probably the best way to do it. So if you're having a little trouble, that's the way I did it. I think it works out pretty good. So yeah, man, pretty awesome. And again, I just love that freaking helmet. So I'm going to go ahead and break down the articulation here. The head and the neck are on separate ball pegs, so you get lots of good motion there. It does turn left and right, up, very far, down pretty nicely, and a little bit of side rocker. Arms can go full 360, up and out that far. We do get a butterfly joint in there, rotation at the bicep. We got double jointed elbows that work out very nicely. We got a swivel at the wrist as well as a hinge at the wrist. We do get a ball peg and a hinge at the torso there, and you can kind of see it under the vest like that, so you crunch all the way forward, all the way back like that, rotate side to side, and a little bit of pivoting right there. Hip joints can kick up and forward that much. There is a little pull down feature, so that actually does help with the leg movement. You can do the splits all the way like so, because he's a naughty little girl. Rotation left and right. Double jointed knees that work out very nicely. We got rotation at the boot. Ankles go up, down, and a pretty sweet ankle rocker. So lots of good motion right here with the Tele-Viper. All right, so now taking a look at the Trubble Bubble itself. Now there is assembly required once you get this thing out of the box. This turret or gun here is a separate piece. So are these side missiles. And one thing I've noticed with these, when you try to pull the missile out, the little side pieces that actually hold on to them, I mean, those come off super easy. And it is that like old school little bone peg like that. I think that's really cool. Again, just very old school, very much what I remember as a kid. But those constantly come off on both sides, so I'll definitely have to paint those. And I kind of wish there was a little more paint on these missiles. That's just me, but everything else still looks really, really good. You got all these different types of like vents and gears and things like that, and whatever 15E3MO is, I don't know what that is, but I like it. Getting nice rudders right there at the bottom. That gun looks super freaking dope, man. I just love this. The whole steering column looks really nice too. You got that really big Cobra logo on the back, and whatever the heck these numbers are. And apparently he took up, what is that, a Sky Striker? I genuinely freaking doubt that this Trubble Bubble took out 3 Sky Strikers. That's just not happening. But they're really cool vents, and he got some really nice gunmetal on there too. And this is Danger Hot Exhaust, so that's pretty awesome. I do love that. These actually do rotate side to side. I think that's pretty cool, so you can get when he's flying around, and I'm probably zoom out for this, but when he's shooting up with these thrusters, you can move these side to side, then you can kind of go side to side like that, so that's pretty cool. Again, the paint looks really nice. You got some more wording on the side right here. Fuse, caution, electric pull, and twist to release. Electric pull? I'm assuming that's that. I don't know what the fuse, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. If any of you guys know what a lot of this stuff means, I genuinely have no freaking clue. But I'm just here because I like really cool toys, and this thing is really, really cool. You got the nice giant dome bubble right there. And I love the tampering that we have on there with a red. It looks really cool, like almost like a targeting system that you would see on a plane. This can just open up. And then we see how we have the whole seating with the seat belt mechanism in there. I love how you get all the interior stuff with some, whatever those numbers are. I don't know, some type of readers and some type of radar. I don't know, some hoses and some buttons and switches. Some kind of like vent right there. I think all of that is super cool. And then even on the front of the actual handle, you get some type of targeting system right there. Again, just very cool looking. Again, man, damn, I'm so stoked about G.I. Joe Classified. It's definitely one of Hasbro's best lines out there right now. But one thing I've noticed too, and I've seen a lot of people having this issue online already, when you go to close the dome here, it fits okay on this side, but over here, it just, this peg seems a little too big for this little slot. So I'm definitely gonna have to trim that down because, and again, I've seen a lot of people having issues with getting that to peg in pretty solidly. So I'm assuming that's a pretty mass issue, as I've seen, again, just a lot of people with that. So very fun. Now, getting our Tele-Viper into the Trubble Bubble itself, oh my god, this is so much fun. First of all, it's easier to get him in the seated position right away and then put his hands on the little handles here. It's really cool too because the trigger fingers kind of fit over the little brake on the actual handles, so that works out really nicely. I also noticed when you first put on the harness around, it can be a little hard to peg in, so I had to soften mine up with some warm water, and it really helped. Now, I've done this a few times, and so it pegs on a lot easier. But so just giving you forewarning that you might want to heat that up just to, you know, give the first couple of tries. And you want to get guys sitting down here with his legs all spread eagle like that. But again, this just looks so good. The missiles look great. This whole section right here with the handles does go forward and up back a little bit like that. This gun is on a ball peg, so it rolls all the way around side to side, up and down. You want to shoot like that. And again, the rudders back here do move side to side as well. And then if you want to bring down the bubble like itself, again, I do have to shave this side over here. That just looks super cool to me. Oh my god, I love it so much. Having them flying around, or I think it'd be more like that, right? Because then that makes sense for this to go a little more forward like that at an angle, right? I think that's how it worked in the show, if I remember correctly. But still, this looks so freaking cool. I'm so excited. And man, this just really kind of annoys me that I did not pick up a second one. Now I really want a second one. I'm pretty sure they're sold out. So I'm kind of screwed on the aftermarket, or unless, you know, Hasbro decides to do another run of these, which I kind of think they will, so I'll probably break it down to that. But that's just going to look really cool. Honestly, flying next to the HasLab Hiss, I just want this kind of like hovering above it, you know what I mean? But the thing is with this, they gave us no type of stand. Why didn't they give us a freaking stand of some sort? That's like a real big miss with this. And you could use other things. I've used a Mayfix stand that I have here just to like hold it up for pictures. You'll see those a little later. So that's kind of a missed opportunity, but still, this is such a fun toy, man. I love what they did here. Now, I guess for the Trubble Bubble, we also do get this like mine bomb thing, which looks really cool. You got some really fine print wording there. It does look pretty cool, and just a really fun piece. Now, this thing does open up. If you want to, like, I don't know, diffuse it, or I don't know, just make it look like he's working on it. So, I mean, they didn't have to do that and add all that extra sculpted detail in there, but they did it, and I think it looks really cool. Now, what I've been seeing is that a lot of people are having trouble of knowing what to actually do with it. Like, does it go on to the Trubble Bubble itself? Does he just hold it? Is it just an extra thing to, like, play with? I don't know. And again, I've seen other people try to figure out what to do with this. So if you guys know officially where to put this thing, please let me know. But what I've been doing, on the back of the gun here, there is a peg hole that fits these little points coming out, and I've just been pegging it in there, and it holds onto there very nicely, so you can hold the mine or bomb at the bottom of the Trubble Bubble, which makes sense, and you can just drop it off and it'll go that way. So again, I don't know if that's officially how it's supposed to be done, but again, it tucks really nicely right there underneath these little fins or stands, whatever you want to call them. And then that gun, these guns keep coming off, man. I really need to glue those. But so anyways, again, that's what I've been doing, and it seems to work out really good. It doesn't really seem to get in the way all that much. So if you know another way, please let me know, because I haven't seen or read anything that would tell me otherwise. Maybe I'm just missing something and I'm a big old dum-dum, but either way, it works for me. And again, I just love the Trubble Bubble. This thing looks so freaking cool.
So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mayfix Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to the G.I. Joe Classified Scrap Iron and Cobra Valkyrie. And just for fun, Here he is with little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Tele-Viper and Trubble Bubble. The Tele-Viper figure is so dope. Again, I always love that vintage toy, but man, getting him in classified is so cool, especially now that they gave him the army building feature with those different heads. That really works for me, especially if you want to get multiple Trubble Bubbles and you don't have all the same looking character. I think that's really cool. The sculpt of it is amazing, all that texturing and detailing. I love the head sculpts. I love the little readers on his wrists. I love the colors with those blues and purples. They've always stood out to me as something special. And damn, the Trubble Bubble itself is such a fun and unique vehicle. I'm so stoked that we got it in a 6-inch line and it works perfectly. The bubble itself looks fantastic with that tampoing on there. The guns and the rotors and the thrusters and all that are beautifully badassly detailed. And again, just such a great and fun toy. It's something I never thought we would get in this line, but here we are. I freaking love it. He's totally rad and definitely a must get. So be excellent to each other and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.